So just give me a second. There is some delay. I am just checking it from my technical team also. Yes, so all good now, sir. If you allow, we can start the session, sir. Yes.
Start.
So today, with all regards of EduTap, with all the family members of EduTap, I would like to welcome one of the esteemed personalities of regulatory bodies job, Dr. G. Mallikarjun, sir. Sir, a warm welcome to the first platform of EduTap, sir.
Thank you.
It's a great pleasure to have you because you will be briefing multiple students over here regarding the job of IRDAI Grade A.
Okay.
Right,
It
sir.
would be my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. To just give a brief introduction about you, sir, and then we will take our session ahead.
Sure.
Sir has worked in NABARD as a NABARD Grade A officer in 1992, and after that he joined RBI as an assistant manager in 1993. And post that, if I'm not wrong, he has worked like almost like 20 years in RBI, and he was then available, and then he was sent to a deputation in IRDAI for 3 years. And this is the like total, I would say, what total job work which he has done. He has worked with NABARD, he has worked with RBI, and he has also worked with IRDAI. Moreover, his graduation is from agriculture and from law background. So if you see, sir is like completed like multiple things. He has done like multiples, I would say, what domains in agriculture, law, and he is a PhD holder also. So he is like a knowledge holder for us, which will discuss multiple of the viewpoints related to IRDAI. Again, sir, a warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
Sir, my very first question related to IRDAI. Very first question is like, how was your experience?
It was
Like,
a wonderful experience.
hmm,
So though it was short, I
hmm.
personally feel that my tenure in IRDA has been more eventful and challenging when compared to my tenure in RBI or even NABARD.
Yes, sir. Sir, just any learnings which you can draw from the IRDAI. Like, what was your total learnings which you draw from the 3 year experience which you have from IRDAI?
See, one thing for someone who's already put in 20 years and
Hmm,
to be into an insurance sector which is
hmm,
totally new, till then I had not even read through the terms of an insurance policy, though I
hmm,
shouldn't be technically saying so. But
hmm,
then I was not very much aware of it. And for me to be, I was working in the ombudsman, and
hmm,
from there, directly putting me into the consumer affairs department, which is now called policyholder
hmm,
protection and grievance department. So
hmm,
it had to be from zero knowledge and awareness level of insurance. I had to build it so that I can interact with the customer. So it was very, very challenging in the sense that I had
hmm,
to learn insurance by the night and by the day,
huh.
handle all the queries that are coming around. So it was very challenging.
But it was fun loving, sir, or was like too
Absolutely. For
much?
me, any change is fun. And
Yep,
in fact, if you see my career, you will find a lot of changes. So,
yep,
and I've enjoyed every change.
yep. So it was like a kind of a learning experience for you, right?
Absolutely.
Sir, like you have worked in three regulatory bodies, NABARD, RBI, and IRDAI also. What makes IRDAI a different job altogether?
IRDAI is in a sector which requires a lot of, as far as agriculture and rural development is concerned,
Hmm,
it's been there from the talk is there
hmm,
since someone in RBI, in NABARD was saying, जब
hmm,
तक agriculture और rural development होगा भी ये तो चलेगा ही.
yep,
So it was that kind of a thing. So
hmm,
RBI was a very broad basket of things which were there.
hmm,
And the financial inclusion and steps towards that were made much prior to the song and dance that went along with it.
hmm,
So that was something where a lot of people had interaction with banks. But as far as insurance is concerned, there is very little understanding about insurance and there's very little participation in insurance, which
hmm,
makes IRDA's job as a very important job and IRDA's function as a very critical function. And
hmm,
for people who are joining now, the emphasis of IRDA is on insurance for all by 2047.
yep,
And today we are in
4.
2024. So 23 years, which is an active period of someone's career, is going to be devoted
Hmm,
to this cause, which is very, very important. So we don't realize the importance of insurance till the time that there is some disaster which strikes. And now we have seen the frequency of disasters striking
More and
so
more.
high that insurance is now something which is absolutely essential. A COVID had to be there to promote health insurance in terms of requirements. So like that, you have so many things which are there, and it's the best organization because it's a totally different thing than compared to the nuances that are there to insurance are much more than what is compared to the traditional thing like banking, lending, deposit taking, etc.
Anji. So, like, what I can learn from your statement is that IRDAI is a wonderful job to be in because the next 23 years will be like huge demand for insurance, and IRDAI is a regulatory body for insurance, right, sir? So,
Absolutely.
one major doubt of students, like, and this is my doubt also, like, I have never worked in IRDAI. Like, sir, is IRDAI only about insurance? क्या सिर्फ insurance का ही काम होता है वहाँ पे?
Insurance, principal responsibility here. Because if you see, the reason why IRDAI has been set up itself is for the protection of policyholders of insurance and to regulate, develop, and promote an orderly growth of the insurance and reinsurance. So from that perspective, insurance and reinsurance is the most important aspect that is there. Apart from that, because insurance involves finance, because insurance involves investments, because insurance involves assessment of liabilities which have not crystallized. That is what makes IRDAI much more complex when compared to something like a bank. So from that perspective, it's all about insurance, but there are so many facets of finance also in the insurance sector and insurance regulation, which makes it even more dynamic.
Cool.
It is banking plus kind of a thing that is there.
So it's like an holistic job which will give an exposure to banking as well and to certain aspects of insurance too.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because all said and done, these are all insurance banks. Then what is it? All those entities are into financial business. So if you see the definition of non-banking financial, a financial institution, it includes a loan company, an investment company, an insurance company, a chit fund company. So all these are financial institutions, but because the sector has become important and there is a specific regulatory requirement for it, we have branched them out. The stock market related, securities market related things are with SEBI. The banking and payment systems are with RBI. Then insurance companies are with IRDA. Pension funds, they were not there, but now they are with PFRDA.
PFRDA.
That's how the growth in the sector, the importance that is there, the participation and the issues that are there, that will necessitate a regulator for it. That's how the situation.
And sir, like some students also asked me, sir, that they considered IRDAI Grade A job somewhat inferior to the other jobs. Like they say that I do not want to work in IRDAI because IRDAI will not give me the perks and allowances which NABARD would give me or
Nothing.
RBI would give me.
In fact, everyone adopts. In fact, RBI is the circular is the, what is it? The basis for everyone else to draw up their compensation packages. Earlier, it used to happen seamlessly. Copy paste हुआ करता था. आजकल थोड़ा there is some what is it? There is a time lag, but by and large, there is a similarity in terms of the pay and perk structure that are there in all these organizations: SEBI, RBI, NABARD, IRDA, then even PFRDA.
So IRDAI is not in sense inferior, rather it's on par only.
Definitely, it's not inferior. The only thing is that they recruit generally at a grade A level, but RBI recruits at assistant level and grade B level. So you are virtually better off by 4 years or 5 years if you are joining as a grade B with RBI.
Right, sir. And sir, like how big is the insurance sector? Like, is it like only limited to some companies or not? Is it like something like more growing in nature?
See, one thing, if you are thinking that insurance sector is only about insurance companies, there are about 55 to 60 of them, but that's not all about insurance sector. A very major part, in fact, all the professionals have a participation in insurance sector, which does not happen in others. Here you have intermediaries of different kinds which are operating. First is you have agents, lakhs of them are in the general life and health. Then you have corporate agents, that is companies which are doing other businesses which also distribute insurance. So you have opportunities there also. Banks, substantially, they are having insurance delivery. So banks, most of them, they have one person from the insurance sector who will be sitting there. So that's the volume of insurance opportunities that are there.
And then
In
there
the
is
banking system also. Then there are brokers, about 400 or 500 of them. Then there are insurance marketing firms who are doing other products and also selling insurance. Then there are
right.
these common service centers. Then surveys and losses are close to 20-30,000 are there.
Mm.
So
And
then third-party administrators, you have about 10 to 15. So
yeah.
these are all participants in the insurance sector. It's not merely that there are 54 companies.
Yeah.
All these 54 companies with all these other army of people who are there, institutional, individual, etc. They are the force who are going to, ensure that insurance is available for all. And it is not merely the product that is available, but
Yeah.
the service and the ultimate promise that is made available to people.
Sure, sir. And then there are, sir, underwriters also. There are people who are
Absolutely.
reinsurance also. So the insurance industry is like a complete universe in itself, sir. Right,
Absolutely.
sir? And
Absolutely.
to make sure this universe works in the best manner, we have IRDAI. Right,
Yes.
sir?
Yes.
So cool,
The,
sir.
bo-
So
the purpose, as I again told,
hmm,
is to protect the policyholder's interest. That is at
hmm,
the essence of it.
yep,
And then, since there are too many people that are there, should not be that the policyholder is given a short shrift. And that's the reason why you have
okay,
the regulator. So the
right,
interest primarily this, then regulate the market. And whichever area where there is a need for insurance to
hmm,
be there and it is not there, developmental activities that
right,
needs to be taken. So that's the emphasis. Most of the
right,
regulatory organizations also have a very important developmental role. So
hmm,
IRDA is no exception to it.
yep.
That's
So majorly IRD is not inferior to any job.
definitely
Rather it's like a complete gamut of force which is controlling the entire universe of insurance. Right, sir?
absolutely.
Right, sir.
Absolutely. So one thing is there is no inferiority, superiority among
Yep.
organizations. There is no inferiority, superiority
Uh,
amongst people. Everyone is unique.
yeah.
There is no inferiority, superiority amongst positions because
Hmm.
every position is critical.
Yes, great statement, sir. Now, sir, let me come to the job of IRDAI Grade A specifically. So first, I would
Yes.
like to talk regarding the work profile. Like if an IRDAI Grade A officer comes to the office on the very first day, how his
Hmm.
journey will be spanned up in next coming 10 days, then to 1 year, then to like 10 years, like something like that, sir.
Okay.
Hmm.
So basically, you will be allotted, there are streams through which there is recruitment. That is, you have an actuarial, you have
Hmm.
accounts, then you have
Yep.
IT.
Sure.
These are the streams, but a
Hmm.
majority of them are generalists.
Yep.
And I think most of the people who would be here will also be engineers who are looking out for opportunities.
Yep.
And what's happening these days is 95% of everyone who gets selected in these organizations are engineers only because this examination itself is tuned that way.
Yes,
So
sir.
once you are through that, to get to
Just,
this, you
just
are,
to yeah.
yes,
Just to add one point, sir. Engineers can do anything, sir. Right?
absolutely.
Engineers can't do
Yeah,
anything,
one
right?
thing, anyone
Huh.
can do anything. See,
Huh.
imagine that Mallikarjun, who's,
Hmm.
an agriculture
Yep.
postgraduate. He has gone into insurance, he has gone into banking, he has gone into law. So
Yep.
when you and I can do anything, anyone can do anything. So
Yep.
what he comes, uh, there is an induction related formality. So there is a
Hmm.
training which is given to him, to them. So what I understand is that ISB people will come down to IRDA and
Okay.
then give it a training program.
Hmm.
First, almost 2 months of it will be in the IIRM's premises. Then
Okay.
they will have 1 month on-the-job training in various insurance companies, etc.
Okay.
Then they will have a field. So close to about 4 to 6 months, they have a training program
Hmm.
that happens.
Hmm.
Then there will be a 1 year probation period that is there.
Hmm.
Then you are assigned to a particular function depending upon your specialty or depending upon your qualification or most importantly the need of the organization.
Hmm.
And then since you are assistant manager and it's more like an officer oriented organization these days, so you will be the person who would be initiating the examination and scrutiny in whichever area that you are. So
Right.
you will have the hands-on experience in terms of handling individual matters and putting it up for the decision. And as far as decision making is concerned, also you have a lot of committee approach that is there to a lot of decisions. So that's how the job is. 4 years afterwards, after 4 years of your joining, you will be eligible for the next grade. And if you are getting
Okay.
through, there is a what is it, a two-stage process there. There is a written examination. Then there is an
And
interview that happens. Then there is a pattern which is there, your career record, your interview, written examination, and then based on that, you will be promoted. So if you're talking about a 10-year span, it is possible that a few bright heads who join will get the second promotion also by the time they are through their 10 years.
right.
That's how. So 4 years is the span from
For promotion.
AM to DGM, and from DGM onwards, it is 3 years span, and that all depends upon the number of vacancies, sanction strength, what is the requirement, etc. So
So sir,
that's
if an officer joins somewhere around, let's say 26 or 27,
mm,
right, and he's like a bright mind. He will work in the best manner. To what
mm.
highest position he can achieve in IRDAI? Like, can he go towards the top level?
So he can go up to the ED level, I suppose. So it's
ED,
possible.
executive
The
director.
four for executive director. And one
Yeah.
more thing, executive director is a normal that happens through the promotion process within IRDA. But
Okay.
beyond that, the moment you are a CGM or something, you have put in 20-25 years of service and you have other qualifications and you have cross experiences, etc. It may so happen that you may put your candidature through to government when they are looking at
Change.
taking up these whole-time members. Because
Okay.
whole-time members don't flow through the channel. If you see RBI,
Hmm.
RBI also has a mechanism of promotion right from the grade
Assist.
B or assistant level
Hmm.
right up to the executive director. Up to
Hmm.
executive director, you are a functionary from within the channel.
Hmm.
But for you to become a deputy governor, there is an appointment committee where your candidature is supposed to be examined. And
Yeah.
based on that suitability, you can. So some person with extraordinary capabilities will probably be a member also,
Right.
which it's the best.
So there are chances of higher promotion if you stick
Absolutely.
to your work, right?
Absolutely.
Now, sir, the first question which I'm getting in my chat is like, do IRDAI Grade A managers have public interaction like an SBI PO has, something like that? Public interaction as
It's
in
not
daily
so, but see, one thing, regulators don't are not supposed to be so
Hmm.
what is it available because they don't do any retail business. But
Yep.
there are points where public interaction does happen. One IRDA these days has started these open house kind of a things, interactions, where the emphasis is basically for the people and the stakeholders,
Hmm.
basically the institutional stakeholders, brokers, surveyors, etc., to come and
Hmm.
represent whatever issues they
Yep.
have. When this happens,
Hmm.
it's not that the ground level people will be, what is it, not participating in it. So that level
Hmm.
of participation. Suppose someone is there in the policyholder grievance cell, it is
Hmm.
very likely that a lot of people would keep coming to IRDA, though it's not
Hmm.
necessary. So you
Yep.
have an interaction insofar as those areas are concerned. Then when you are
Right.
dealing with brokers, licenses, etc., if you are the
Hmm.
authority who is putting across, you have institutions and persons who are dealing with it to come to you. So there is interaction, but it is more on the regulated entity related interaction or unsatisfied customer related interaction. But it is not the retail kind of interaction that an SBI PO has because he is a customer
Yeah.
front person who is there. So automatically he is the deciding authority in so far as a loan is concerned.
Hmm.
The level of interaction that a regulated entity has and
Hmm.
the level of interaction that a regulator has is a totally different thing.
Different. Right,
You will
sir.
not meet 1,000 people a day, but
Hmm.
then you may meet 10 customers who are dissatisfied in a day, which
Right.
I did
Okay.
during the first 1 to 6 months of my tenure.
Hmm. Right, sir. Thank you for that explanation, sir. So one question which I would like to ask from my side is like currently we are listening what is happening in SEBI, right? The work culture and everything. I will not comment on that because that's a separate case to discuss. But is that a case with IRDAI? Like how is the work culture in IRDAI? Is it peaceful? Is it stressful? Or is it like based on targets, something on that sort?
Um, So you must have seen, I'll try to take an analogy. You
Yep.
see Shah Rukh Khan performing on screen,
Yep.
and you see an Amir Khan performing on screen.
Hmm.
You see Shah Rukh Khan interacting with anyone around. You see Amir Khan or a, what is it, or some
Salman
other
Khan.
person interacting.
Yeah.
The ease which comes and the confidence that you have will determine how stressful you are and how affected you are by the circumstances around. So, and as far as all these things are concerned, the times that we live in and work are a reflection of the kind of what is it, situation that we create for ourselves at work. So
Hmm.
I have been someone who has been very relaxed all through. But when I say relaxed, it does not mean to say that I have not put in
Worked
my
hard.
blood, sweat, and toil into it. I
Hmm.
have worked from 10 to say 6, 7, or 8, even in IRDA,
Hmm.
when there were situations where there was an urgency, or where in RBI it was almost my regular part sometimes. But the people around, it is you who can make your environment.
Yeah.
So what happened in SEBI is something which I don't want to comment upon. It depends upon the kind of persons you have. But
Right.
any person, if you are good at your job and you know what you're doing, the other person cannot take you for a ride. The issue
Right.
will come in terms of these interactions, that people tend to take you for a ride. And the
Hmm.
person who does his job diligently, everyone will be, what is it? They will be happy with you, and they will not be in a position to think to alienate you, because it is on your
Hmm.
shoulders that his career is going to be getting the next push. So that's the
Right, sir.
small part of it. And I one thing, it and anyone's experience is his own experience, and any
Hmm.
organization's experience is its own experience. So
Hmm.
that's, you can't, if you say demonetization in RBI, how was it? I didn't like it. But then not
Hmm.
necessary that everyone in RBI felt so.
Yeah.
Similarly, now what is happening with
Hmm.
Madhavipuri book, it's a different thing
Huh.
altogether, but it's not the copy book of how regulatory systems function. So there is an exception.
Yeah.
There is a, what is it, politics around it. There is this personality around it. There
Hmm.
are the times around it. All these
Yeah.
matter.
Right. So work culture, I think, depends upon the stressful times. Like, if stressful times are
But
there,
one
then
thing
you.
I'll tell you,
Yeah.
in IRDA, there have been very few instances where I came to office on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Okay.
But when I was in RBI, I was with the banking ombudsman almost on on during what is it, on Saturdays, about one
Hmm.
or two times in a month. Definitely, I used to come to office because of the volume of work that I had. So
Okay.
it depends. It doesn't, IRDA does not expect you to be coming to office and working. Now you have computers with you, so a
Hmm.
lot of people
Hmm.
definitely do carry home
Work
some
from.
work to be focusing upon on a Saturday or a Sunday, but that's not the rule.
Hmm. Right. So I think, sir, the answer of, if I summarize all the statement is, then it's a flexible working culture,
Huh.
right, sir? Right, sir. Now,
And there
sir,
is a flexi time also.
flexi
You can
time.
go, you can come to the organization anytime between 9 and 10:30 and work 8 hours and go back.
Right.
So if
That's
you're
the.
an early riser, start off at 8 o'clock, get to office at 9 o'clock, then get away at around 4 o'clock, and then go and do, or 5 o'clock, and do whatever you want to do.
So
This
that will be a big breaking news for the students
absolutely, this
because.
kind of facility is there
uh,
even in RBI.
hmm,
But it depends upon the slots where you're working. But
yep,
organizations are very flexible in terms of the say,
yep,
if you are diligent, everything else works according to that only.
yep,
So nobody, if you don't work, someone will say 10 से 5 तक भी नहीं रहे क्या और तुम चले जा रहे हो. मैंने अपना काम ढंग से और ईमानदारी से किया तो कोई मुझे रोकने वाला नहीं है, अगर
right,
क्योंकि उसे पता है कि मुझे जरूरत है, इसीलिए मैं जल्दी जा रहा हूँ. Okay,
right,
that's how the whole work culture works. There's not something universal about anything. It's just
right.
the reputation that you build and the people around you.
Mm. So one question which I would like to pick from chat is, and this is the question which we obviously ask from SEBI experts also. Like, sir, can EDI grade A officer invest in share market? Like, can they do the trading in the stocks?
They can do, but the IRDA regulation says that whoever is having knowledge in relation to investments, because they, as far as IRDA is concerned, there is no requirement. In case of insurance, there is a requirement. So you can do trading in shares to your heart's content. There's nothing which is stopping
Right,
you. But it
right,
is
sir.
not the case, probably. SEBI, you are privy to a lot of information. So
Yep.
I think there are certain rules about
No.
which I am not aware of.
So in
So
SEBI, I have.
IRDA, nothing
Right, sir.
which stops
Right.
you from dealing.
Right, sir. Right. Now, sir, let's come to the most important point. What is the gross salary of an EDI grade officer?
In the notification, they have indicated that 1.2 lakhs is something, the amount
Yep, yep,
that
yep.
someone gets when he joins. So this is
Hmm.
then in addition to it, there are too many perks that have not found mentioned there. So you will
Yeah.
get for a mobile handset, you will get for housing cleaning allowance, then you will get
Hmm.
conveyance expenses for petrol, then you have household help or cleaning, then education allowance, internet, then briefcase annual, book grant annual, medical reimbursement annual, then what else you have? Refraction test, cost of spectacles, then mobile handset, then you
Hmm.
have leave travel concession. So there are certain things which you get on a monthly basis. There are certain things you get on annual basis, and
Hmm.
these are not reflected in the amounts that have been indicated there. So they are, kya?
Like
What do you say?
notification.
The money plus. So that 1.22 plus will be the perks that will be there. So
Okay.
that is
So EDI takes care of all the necessary of an
absolutely. These
employee, right?
organizations all do take care very
Right.
nicely of you.
Now, coming to say one more point is regarding posting of an EDI grade officer. What we have heard is that maximum of the posting happens in Hyderabad only. So, is it true or is it like a kind of a fake news?
It has happened in differently in
Hmm.
different times. When I was there between 2013 to 16, and
Hmm.
during the whole tenure prior to that, the office started off in Delhi because the interim regulatory
Yep,
authority was
was
there.
in Delhi.
उसके बाद में onwards, the head office came to IRDA, and then majority, virtually everyone used to be in Hyderabad only. So then when they thought that there is supervision which we'll have to do, we need to
Hmm.
step up our inspections, etc. So then they opened an office on the Veer Nariman Road or something
Hmm.
in Bombay, and they wanted some expansion of people in Delhi.
Hmm.
So a lot of people after 2016 were transferred out to these two places. Then subsequently, very recently, I think 22 or 23, what they did is brought everyone back here, and now you have only skeletal one or two people who will be there in those offices. So now, as you say, majority of them,
Ah,
95% of them work in
Hyderabad.
Hyderabad, work out of Hyderabad only.
Right, sir. And sir, what about like there is one question which is coming in my chat box is like, is IRDAI looking for new joinees or are they looking for those joinees which have a huge amount of experience?
See, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. There is
Hmm.
nothing like that. You have an
Hmm.
examination that is there, no?
Yep.
So the examination will be a uniform examination for all. So
Hmm.
whoever makes the cut for in the preliminary gets qualified for the main. Whoever
Right.
makes grade in the in the examination will go. So it's
Hmm.
just like a civil services where a
Hmm.
22-year-old will stand equal chance to make it to IAS
Right.
when
If.
compared to a 32
Yeah.
year old. So the same holds
Hmm.
good here. One
Right.
thing is, when you are being asked or questioned in an interview, you will have to be prepared for several things if you are
Hmm.
a, what is it?
New
If you are
joinee.
already working somewhere. If
Yep.
you are a fresher, then your pressure will be in terms of giving them a sense, saying that even without starting off with your career, how clear about your
Hmm.
organization that you are going to join are you, and how are you
Right.
able to project yourself. That's the
Right.
only difference.
Right. So
In fact, I
that's.
joined the moment I completed my what is it? I moved. I completed my coursework in MSc, and I was selected at 22. I joined
Hmm.
NABARD. At 23, I joined Reserve Bank of India. So
Okay.
hardly any experience, but
Hmm.
I have made it in these two exams and the
Right.
interviews.
And so, what is the duration of training or probation, something like that in IRDAI?
Probation is 1 year.
Yep.
Training is about 6 months, 4 to 6 months. That is
Okay.
what they have indicated, and they are engaging. They are sending them to the insurance companies as well. They
Hmm.
are engaging very good faculty, like from
ISB.
ISB, etc. They have a tie-up. Then they have tie-ups with other organizations like
Hmm.
IAM, ISB,
Yep.
etc. And even Canada, there is Toronto Center which is there.
Hmm.
So while they are in service, the training programs will be given by these organizations to various
Right.
levels of staff. Then when I
Right.
was there at IRDA, we had a program which we got conducted through
Hmm.
Nalsar. So there are a lot
Okay.
of opportunities.
Right, sir. And sir, like, what are the opportunities which a student might have if they want to work in private sector after retire?
After IRDAI.
Yep.
One thing, you are working in insurance
Hmm.
companies, you are aware of the insurance regulation. You are
Hmm.
aware of the processes that happen. Going along the way, you may pick up a fellowship in insurance. You may be interested in statistics. You might have done a course in actuarial. So,
Hmm.
depending upon which of these capabilities you have, you will have opportunities across. So you could be, there is a necessity for an actuary in virtually every insurance company because he is
Hmm.
the one who certifies finally the product. So
Hmm.
if you are doing this, you actuary job will be there if you are, and if you complete the course of actuaries. If you are
Right.
very thorough with the regulation, you can go for a compliance job
Right.
in these organizations. If you are a chartered accountant, then probably you could go there. If you are legal person here, you could probably manage the litigation. If you have worked in ombudsman or policyholder grievances, you could be heading the customer relationship management
Right. So,
slots there.
huge scope is there. This is what I can definitely. Yep.
Absolutely.
And so when,
But one
uh,
thing is, but one, let me just caution also. सेइंग दैट रेगुलेटर का अप्रोच अलग है और फाइनेंस और एक बिजनेस एंटिटी का अप्रोच अलग है.
hmm,
सो जब तक आप बिजनेस सेंस से अपने आप को वाकिफ नहीं रहेंगे
yeah,
रखेंगे रेगुलेटर में रह के देयर इज वेरी लिटिल दैट यू विल हैव एज अ यूएसपी विद इन यू. You will be
right.
compartmentalized into small slockets that I have indicated. You may be
Hmm.
what is it placed higher in the organization there, but unless you have a sense of the business and you keep yourself updated on that,
Hmm.
you may not be of much value if you are merely in a regulatory organization.
Okay. Right, sir. And sir, is there any scheme of further studies if I am an EDI grade officer, I want to upskill myself?
You
Like,
can upskill yourself. I'm not very sure about it, but there is some the qualification related marks count very highly while you are going for an interview because in the
right.
promotion grid that you have in terms of marks, qualifications constitute 10 marks.
Okay.
So 20 marks if you are in the DGM grade. So if you are having a graduation, then you are vying for 5 marks. You have a post graduation, 2 marks. Then if you have fellowship in insurance, then your postgraduate diploma, then
Hmm.
you will get 3 marks. Then if you are having an ACS or something like that,
Hmm.
then you get 5 marks out of that. So the more qualification you have, and actuarial courses, there is a lot of incentive also that is given.
Hmm.
That
Right,
is,
sir.
you will get some 60, 70,000. It was at that point of time additionally. If you
Okay.
are hearing about the requirement for an actuarial to participate in this examination as a
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
specialist is 9 papers, but if you get through 15, you will have a huge incentive, which
Yep.
otherwise the people who are there in who have an interest in mathematics, statistics, and who are oriented and who are someone who are interested, if you do
Hmm.
that,
Hmm.
it opens up a huge career. It gives you incentive here. It opens up your doors because not many actuarials are there.
Yep.
There are
Right,
only
sir.
about 200 to 300 across the whole country, and there are foreign people who are being taken in because our domestic capacity is not appropriate. So,
Right, sir.
if there is anything that you have to make in India, you have to make actuarials in India.
Right.
And these
Uh,
people who are vying for a post in IRDA, they should concentrate on becoming actuarials.
right, sir. But becoming actuarials takes a lot of time, right, sir? If I'm not wrong. Like you have 15 play
Yes,
papers.
see one thing, Rome was not built in a day.
Yep.
Okay. And this Rome is made out of a lot of, it needs too much of, in fact, let me be honest with you.
Hmm.
I have also, I joined IRDA in 2000, what is it? I was there between 2013 to 16 and I was 44 to 47 age. I
Hmm.
got myself enrolled into actuarial
Okay.
and I got the first set of books. But then I thought that at 44 and I saw the rigor that is there and I saw the results that are there in terms of how many cleared. Then I thought that I don't stand a chance in terms of the amount of my age is not what is it something which is appropriate for me to exert myself there. So I कुछ the चंदे में 30,000 रुपया I just gave the chanda of 30,000 to actuarial institution, got
Hmm.
one huge bunch and then kept it at home only to puja, saying that I have been telling my brother's son कि तुम बच्चा अभी तुम इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हो, स्टैटिस्टिक्स में दिलचस्पी है और मैथमेटिक्स कर सकते हो तो थोड़ा अपना व्हाट इज इट स्पाइन को बेंड करो और start doing your job, and
Right.
you will spend a lot of money, but you will get back the money as well. That much
Yep.
I can assure you, because there's huge incentive structure built around it, and actuarials in insurance industry earn crores, if not lakhs.
Yep,
ओके,
sir. But
तो
sir, but
यही
my
है कि
question.
हुंडी में आप भगवान के हुंडी में 100 रुपए डालते हैं ये सोच के मुझे लाख रुपए मिलेगा। अभी आपको 10,000 रुपया या 1 लाख रुपया डालेंगे तो करोड़ों निकाल सकते हैं। तो वही
Right,
है।
sir. Right, sir. So, but my question is like, if someone has to do a professional course, like which is easier than actuarials, like which can increase their which can increase their CV, like looking that they can do some professional course like DBF, Diploma in Banking and Finance. So, are there any courses which a student can do to improve their CV?
There is this, I told you now, the fellowship, licentiate, associateship, and fellowship in insurance is
Yeah.
being offered by Insurance Institute of India.
Hmm.
And at 44, when I joined the insurance regulator, I was not given any training. So for me to handle a customer, I needed to know life insurance, general insurance, and the regulation around it. So within 1 month of myself joining, I cleared the licentiate exam.
Right.
Within 6 months of myself joining, I completed the associate exam in both life and general. And I completed my fellowship within about 10 months flat. So
Hmm.
within 1 year of my joining. And this earns you points and also gives you increment as
Hmm.
far
Hmm.
as IRDA is concerned. So
Hmm.
this is the first thing that anyone should do. Just like someone who's there in a bank, he has to do CAIB.
Hmm.
Like that, fellowship in insurance is something which is a must do for people who are joining
Right.
IRDA or who have any other aspirations. Then health insurance is a very important thing. As I
Right.
told you, actuarial is a very important thing that you should be
Hmm.
doing.
Right.
And apart from that, कुछ भी MBA भी करो, BBA भी करो, DBA भी करो, IT भी करो, CS भी करो, बहुत
Right.
LLB भी
Right.
करो, करते रहो ना, क्या है वो, यू आर
Right.
सिंपली।
Learning never stops, sir. This is what you wanted to
Absolutely.
say.
Take every opportunity to that comes your way. And one more thing is,
Hmm.
see, there is an inspiration that you are going to get a qualification. But the
Yep.
second part of it is, in this inspiration, there is a perspiration of reading, there is a perspiration of taking the exams and clearing them. So
Hmm.
that ये दोनों होगा, तो then you will have
Hmm.
the other resources that come along with it.
Right, sir. And sir, is there any bond amount while joining IRDAI?
6 lakhs is what I think is the amount. So there is
Yeah.
a 3-year bond that you will have to give. And if not that, 6 lakhs you will have to pay, and then
Hmm.
what is
Okay.
it? Ram Ram from your
Right,
side.
right, right.
So that
And
is.
sir, what are like say if any student has cleared all these exams and interview, like he will also have to appear for medical examination, like
Yes, yes.
medical checks.
There is a
So,
medical certificate that needs to be
uh,
provided, which is a
yep,
pre-appointment kind of a thing.
yep. So,
So
so is it strict or is it like kind of journal only?
it is important.
Yep.
That much
Okay.
I can say.
Right.
In fact, in RBI, when I was there, we are referred to a particular doctor who will
Mm,
give the certificate directly to the
mm.
organization. That was, and
Right.
IRDA, as I understand, they are also thinking of having this mechanism. And when I
Right.
joined NABARD, let me tell you, I was medically, what is it, on a probation kind of a thing, because I was underweight.
Okay.
So after 6 months, I had to take another weight test
Mm.
to be certified and to be declared to be medically fit. So that's the
Okay.
rigor of this depends upon the organization.
Mm.
But requirement इतना आर्मी, जब आप
Yep.
अग्निवीर को ही आसानी से बना सकते हैं, तो ये
Mm.
IRDA का उतना कुछ नहीं है ना।
Right. So it's not that much strict, I think, sir.
हाँ,
Right.
no, not
Huh.
to.
Right. Now,
But
sir,
if
when
there
it
is any physically challenged person who is joining in, no,
uh,
that is something which is very, very seriously taken. It's not that you can
yeah.
give all kinds of certificates. वो नहीं होता
Right.
है. The
Right.
parameters and something which people have to be very cautious about, because
Yep.
it will be treated as a fraud, and criminal cases and other things also can be instituted against
Yep.
them.
So we do not have to cheat anyone. Just
Absolutely.
prepare. Right. Now, sir, one doubt which student is asking is regarding the residential quarters. Do IRDAI provides residential quarters?
No, no. You get HR house allowance, which will be
Right.
sufficient enough for you to get. Then you will have access to a housing loan of say 60, 70
Hmm.
or plus lakhs. So आप
Right.
promotion अगर हो जाएगा तो probably you will be eligible 90 times basic or something
Yep.
like that. So
Yep.
आपने
HRA,
घर में
sir,
रहने की,
I saw a
because
salary slip.
हाँ, yes.
Yep. It provides somewhere around 40,000 per month. HRA. So that is
Correct.
again a big, right.
Absolutely.
Right. And sir, one student is regarding UPSC explanation also. Like he has appeared for UPSC and there are some gap years of 4 to 5.
Hmm.
So is IRDAI a good plan B for him?
फैंटास्टिक है सी ये सारे चीजें आप अप्लाई करके लिखते ही रहना है व्हाट आर यू
Uh,
डूइंग यू आर गेटिंग योरसेल्फ फेमिलियराइज यू आर राइटिंग
mm,
इकोनॉमिक एंड सोशल प्रॉब्लम्स यू आर राइटिंग अबाउट मैनेजमेंट you are
mm,
writing about insurance so
yep.
the more exams you keep writing the more you
Mm,
will keep clearing in fact the time when I told you about NABARD
mm,
and RBI in when the month I joined RBI it was the
mm,
month that I cleared my civil services preliminary as well.
yep.
I took the mains, of course. I was not so hardworking
Mm,
के what is it 20 घंटे पढ़ने वाला बच्चा नहीं हूँ मैं. So I
mm,
thought this is not something meant for me, and I
mm,
dropped after the first only. But then people clear that also,
mm,
so they can. IRDA is a very good plan B
yep.
or plan C, if I may say.
Right, sir. Right. And sir, like how many, like, let talk to me regarding the overall structure of organization. Like how many departments are there? Can you please comment on that in IRDAI?
Life, non-life. See, basically there are various, as I told you, no, the
Yep.
insurance sector consists of life insurance, non-life insurance,
Yep.
then health insurers and reinsurers. So you
Mm,
have four departments of those. Then
yep.
you have intermediaries, which are distribution oriented. So you
Mm,
have intermediaries, one department for agents, one department for brokers, one department for surveyor, loss assessors, insurance marketing firms, etc. So you have an intermediaries, three sets of departments. Then customer grievance, policyholder protection and grievance
mm,
redressal department is there. Then you have
right.
functionally you need what is it? Finance and investment department. You have
Mm,
actuarial department. You
mm,
have human resource and legal department. Then you have administration and human resource department.
mm,
Then you have legal department. These
yep.
are the broad have I missed out on something? There is one health department also.
Right.
Non-life, non-life health.
Mm,
So they will look after
right.
the CPAs, etc. So these are the various departments that are there. And there will be mobility within the departments. So earlier there used to be mobility across offices also. And then more importantly, you have a supervision department which
Mm-hmm.
takes care of the inspection of the insurers and
Mm,
intermediaries. Then you have an enforcement department which penalizes.
mm,
If on inspection I find someone is not appropriately doing the regulation, I'll
mm.
penalize them. For that, you have an insurance. What is that called? Enforcement.
Enforcement. Right.
Yes. So
Enforcement.
that is
Right.
when legal department is there. Then you have a vigilance wing. Then you have a
Mm,
these are the kinds of departments that you have.
right, sir. And so one doubt which is definitely worth to ask is IRDAI Grade A government job?
These are called regulate statutory bodies.
Yep.
So they are set up under the statute, Insurance
Yep.
Regulatory and Development Authority Act. So
Act.
is RBI a government job? RBI is a statutory
Statutory
body.
job.
Again,
Yep.
Reserve Bank of India Act, Section 3
Yep.
is PFRD. So these are all regulatory bodies'
Job.
jobs. So, but then they have the comfort because the
Mm,
principles that have been there, it's
mm,
not hire and fire that is there. You are
mm,
supposed to have staff regulations. You are supposed to have the principles of natural justice. ऐसा नहीं कि मैं व्हाट इज इट सुबह देखा तो एक पिंक स्लिप मेरे बॉक्स में पड़ा रहे हैं ऐसा
uh,
घटिया सा
right.
तरीका नहीं है इनके ऑपरेट करने का दिस आर
Right.
governed by the rule of law of the country. There has
Mm,
to be a show cause notice. There
mm,
has to be an inquiry which is conducted. You have to be given an opportunity of being heard. And after all that, you will be chucked
mm,
out if you are found to be, and you have the legal process after that also. So by
right.
and large, it's a very safe and a secure job because these kind of protections are there. And it is a
Right.
cushy kind of a job because you have a good pay and perk structure.
Cool, sir. And sir, what about social security? Like if someone retires from IRDAI as an
Fantastic. They have the pension system, but apart
uh,
from that, they have medical insurance, they have accident insurance, they have
mm,
group savings linked
mm,
insurance policy. So all these are there. Then there is some ex gratia which is given in
mm,
case someone dies in harness or something like that. Then you
right.
have gratuity which is there, which is a statutory right that these
Mm,
people have. Then super and
right.
provident fund where they can themselves make contribution. Then there is an
Right.
SPS where they can have the
Mm,
organizational contribution and their own contribution depending upon how much they feel comfortable with. So
right.
security by social security wise, they may not have conventionally the pension scheme that is there, but they are having the pension scheme as is available for everyone else. So that is how it is as far as
Right. So everything is taken care of, whether you are working, whether you are non-working, whether you are retired, everything is taken care of.
see one thing. If you are non-working, life has a way. I keep telling that where you give without taking, you will be given an opportunity to take without giving. But where you take without giving, you will have to give without taking. आप अपना कंट्रीब्यूट करो और उसके लिए आप अपना कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल सैलरी अर्न करो, तो आप चैन को
सो
10
सकते हो.
बजे मोबाइल को बाजू में रख के सो सकते हैं.
Hmm.
अगर आप इफ यू आर नॉट डूइंग दिस, देन sometime life and karma will catch up. You
Yeah.
can't make, as they say, no, you can't make a fool of someone, what is it, at all times. You can
Yeah.
make a fool of everyone at all times. That is not possible. So you may have spells where you may not be very busy, but you can't bank on those kind of spells. You should be ready for, at least I don't expect this kind of a question or a
Yeah.
suggestion
No, no, sir.
coming this
Yeah.
stage.
No, no, so my
It's a,
question
it's a
was that
very
Hmm.
it's a very what is it, fulfilling kind of a job.
Job.
And if you give the most, you will get the most.
Yep,
It's a
sir.
very satisfying kind of a job.
Yep. It's a stable kind of job which will give you all the
Absolutely.
things which you require if you work diligently. Right, sir? Right.
Absolutely.
Yep. So
Absolutely.
one student is asking, and multiple students are there who are working as an LIC AAO. They are having a certain kind of posting in LIC. So they are asking multiple times, sir, will they be given certain advantage in the interview process if they reach towards interview?
As I see, that's it. This is what is it? There will not be any advantage of such. See, let me just give you one of my examples when I was called for an interview in RBI. I was working with NABARD, and NABARD was set up in 1982, and I
Yep.
joined it in 1992. So it was just 10 years old. So
Hmm.
they said, you are a postgraduate in agriculture. You were working in NABARD as a grade A. Why do you want to move and come down to RBI as a grade A?
Hmm.
So this is a question. So I started off by saying that RBI is a 1935 organization. So it's very old and it
Old.
needs young people like me. NABARD is very young and it can sustain by itself, by others. That's one part of the story. But the other part of the story is NABARD deals with a limited function of agriculture and rural development. Whereas Reserve Bank deals with everything apart from agriculture, including agriculture and rural development. Like that, LIC deals with life insurance. It has its pluses and minuses, but IRDA is something more than LIC in the sense that life insurance business is just a component of the entire regulatory, what is it, sphere, what is it, uh,
Whole
the
circle.
campus, the sweep of IRDA is much beyond LIC. So if you want a what is it, a target based kind of a job, then LIC is the right one. But if you regulator is a different, it is just like आप क्या बोलते हैं, you want to have पनीर कोरमा or you want to have मलाई कोफ्ता, दोनों में अपना स्वाद है. ऐसा नहीं कि पनीर कोरमा खाएंगे तो मलाई कोफ्ता. किसी को पनीर कुरमा अच्छा लगता है, किसी को मलाई कोफ्ता अच्छा लगता है.
Right, sir. Right. So
कोई
if
मिक्स्ड वेजिटेबल करी खाना चाहता है, उसके लिए आईआरडीए बेस्ट है.
Right. So at the end of the day, if you are satisfied, then go ahead. If you want to improve your life, you can go for another job as well. Now, sir, this is my last question, and after that, I will take multiple. I will request all the students to ask their doubts, and I will take all the doubts. Now, my last question is related to, sir, one golden advice. Like, sir, you have done a lot of work in regulatory body job, and many of the aspirants over here are like 25, 22 of the age. Like, what will be your golden advice to all the aspiring students who are targeting a regulatory body job in IRDAI? And after that, I will open the forum for discussions with students. Yes, sir, please.
Golden advice, these days, you find very little opportunity to serve people through organizations which are regulatory in nature.
Right.
They throw a very big challenge in the sense that your understanding has to be there. Your understanding should be better than the regulated entity's understanding. And then you should also be tuned towards keeping yourself abreast with the changing times. इसमें कोई भी अगर there is a slip up, you will be left in the lurch. So that's the reason why a regulatory job, don't look at it as something which is भर्ती हो गया और उसके बाद में हर दिन मेरे पास पैसे आएंगे. पैसे तो आएंगे ही, बट
Hmm.
जब तक आप अपने आप को नॉलेज से इक्विप नहीं करेंगे, आप रेगुलेटरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में सड़ने के चांसेस बहुत ज्यादा है.
Hmm.
Unless you are going to reinvent yourself, you are able to interact with the insurer or the intermediary to understand what they do, you will tomorrow go and inspect without
Hmm.
knowing what they are doing. So you
Hmm.
will cut a very sorry figure. So the urge to learn and the urge to understand what my regulatory domain is doing is something which should be prime. एनुअल
Right.
रिपोर्ट निकालो, पढ़ो, कोई इंश्योरेंस कंपनी में जाओ, उनसे इंटरेक्ट करो, कोई ब्रोकर से मिलो और उसका देखो, कोई कंप्लेंट हैंडल करो, कैसे करते हैं, ओम्बड्समैन के डिसीजंस देखो. ये
Hmm.
दैट इज द काइंड ऑफ, देयर हैज टू बी ए बुक फॉर लर्निंग. एंड इफ दैट इज, a person very easily can lose that book if they get into any of these regulatory organization or a government job. But if he does that, then that is the end of it. My urge to all you people is, learning is the only thing which will take you
Hmm.
forward in life. It may not be in IRDA, it may not be in IRDA. So someone seeks me out today because I have learned, because I have worked, because I have done my work well.
Yep.
And then I find it comfortable. I find that there is a new whole world outside I explore.
Right.
That should be the nature.
So major thing is that learning is supreme. If
Absolutely.
you learn, you will definitely grow in life also.
Exactly.
Right, sir. And so one more question which student is asking is like, what makes EDI different from RBI and SEBI or from NABARD? I know that insurance wala thing, but sir, is there any one job feature which students will like go after in EDI? Like one specific feature?
It is only about 300 people who are there across, or maybe around,
Yep.
it is less than 500. So if
Okay.
you take RBI, I think it's now a 5,000, 6,000 organization,
Hmm.
I suppose. If you take
Right.
SEBI, it's about 1,500, 2,000 organizations. So this is
Hmm.
a compact. It can be a
Hmm.
family. But then
Right.
whether it is a family, I will not tell you, you go and experience.
Yep.
Whether I had the feeling of being in a family, yes, I had the feeling of being in a family, because
Hmm.
even now, when I walk into IRDA or the people whom I have worked with, they remember the
Hmm.
time that we have spent so fondly.
Right.
That's kind of, you will be in a position to get to know and meet all the people who are there in this organization
Hmm.
under one roof, but you don't get that benefit either in
Yeah.
SEBI
Yeah.
or in IRD, in
Hmm.
RBI. So
Right.
RBI, even if I would have worked for 30, I would have worked for 37 years if I would
Hmm.
have continued. But still there would be organizations, or there would be places where I wouldn't have even entered.
Hmm.
But that is not the case, because
And
everyone in the organization enters only that building, which is
right.
the, what is that? The financial district, IRDA Bhavan.
Hmm. Right. Right.
That's the beauty. So
Hmm.
it can be a very, what is it? It can be a family.
Hmm.
It was a
Right.
family, but then subsequently they decided that they don't want to be one big family, because on April 19th, during the 2 years that I was there, we had a get together. There was, first morning used to be a seminar kind of a thing. In the evening, it's a whole family get together.
Right.
After 2015 or 16, last year, there was one such get together. So you can
Right.
understand. And in the time that I was there, I was one of the persons who was interested in having this kind of a thing, that,
Right.
and the people who were around at that point of time were very
Hmm.
supportive. So you can make a difference and make
Hmm.
it a bigger, better
Hmm.
family. But you can't do
Right.
it with RBI, because both vast hai.
Right, sir. And sir, one student is asking, this is a very silly doubt, but still I will have to take it
No
because
doubt is
he's
silly. No person
okay.
is stupid.
No, sir, he is
No
asking,
organization is dirty.
yep, he is asking whether we will get food on the campus.
They have a canteen. They have
Yep.
a canteen. So that will
Yep.
take care. Otherwise, they have
Uh,
some sort of so coupons का भी कुछ है.
yep.
तो
Yep.
आपको देंगे, आप कोई स्टोर्स में खरीदेंगे, या जोमेटो, टोमेटो, स्विगी विगी में कुछ बिगी खा
Right.
सकते हैं.
Right, sir. And one student is asking regarding sabbatical period in EDI, if there is any.
Sabbatical
Hmm.
है शायद. There is sabbatical. That leave is there.
Hmm.
Then one more thing, people from IRDA these days are going on
Hmm.
deputation to insurance ombudsman's offices, etc.
Hmm.
So you have maybe 2 years or something. I think you will have to There is one IRDA staff regulations which is available. Just have a look at it. It's available on the
Right.
website.
So one
This
interesting
is a
doubt
form of
is,
leave. Okay.
right, right,
और
sir, right.
उसमें silly कौन सा हुआ भाई? There's nothing silly about it,
Yep,
no?
sir. I apologize, sir. I apologize.
Okay.
Yep. So one doubt is related to that. Will IRDAI Grade A, like, will the person who is selected as an IRDAI Grade A, they be called as a manager or as an officer? Is there any difference
Assistant
between?
manager. He is an assistant manager by
Is it
designation. He
right?
is an officer in terms of the cadre. Then
Hmm.
he is a junior management grade in
Hmm.
terms of the grouping of people. So a
Right.
manager and assistant manager are in the junior management grade. An AGM
Cool.
and DGM are in the middle management grade. A GM and CGM
Right.
are in the senior management
Senior.
grade. An executive director and member, they are in the top management.
Hmm. Right, sir. And so one last two questions which I will take is IRDAI planning to open office in every state so that multiple, like
But
for two?
I don't think there is a thought like that because IRDA believes in distribution channels being available. So what they are planning for insurance for all is that there will
Hmm.
be insurer. If you remember, there was something called as lead bank scheme and service area approach, then the village
Hmm.
adoption
Hmm.
scheme. That
Yeah.
is the kind of model of insurance promotion that they are planning to have. The Bima Vahak, Bima Sugam, which is going to provide an electronic marketplace. Then a Bima Vahak who is, and then a Bima Vistar product, which consists of the health and other things. So it does not necessitate IRDA to have places of business at multiple locations.
Right.
But it's enough if it is working from one place, but have the entities operate beautifully across the country, which it
Right.
will definitely do.
Right, sir. Now, sir, one question which is coming to my mind is, and this question is related to the vacancies kind of thing. Like
Hmm.
in the last notification was released in 2023 and then
Hmm.
in 2017. So
Hmm.
if you see from 2017 to 2023, there was no notification. And now they have come again in 2024. So
Hmm.
is there any pattern or is there something which I'm missing or they will recruit regularly now? Any comments on that if you can do so?
If, if what is it? Recruitment in some organizations, there is a method in case of RBI is concerned, and
Yeah.
I think SEBI by and large also
Hmm.
has this. NABARD has a reasonable regularity. In fact, when
Hmm.
I joined, the
Hmm.
previous recruitments of NABARD was in 1984, 1988, 1992. But
Okay.
maybe after that, they had a regular recruitment which
Hmm.
happened. But in
Right.
case of RBI, it has been on a continuous basis since donkey's years.
Hmm.
SEBI is on a continuous basis. IRDA, there was some blip because of various other factors that were
Hmm.
there. Then they have
Hmm.
now, if 2 years they have done the same thing,
Hmm.
then and all said and done, IRDA is a relatively young organization
Yeah.
in terms of the people who are there in it also. So from
Right.
that perspective, you will not have like RBI on a regular basis, you have about 100, 200 people going out. So there will be a need for 200 people coming in. So
Hmm.
that kind of need may not be there in IRDA.
Yeah.
So the regularity, if it happens, it's very good. But
Hmm.
that I'm not aware whether there is any policy
Hmm.
decision saying that I'm going to have
Yeah.
30, 40 people on a yearly basis. But it helps if you have this.
Right. And sir, any
And one more thing
chances?
is
Hmm.
there is a channel of deputation also through which people who are in the industry and in the regulatory bodies come and work with IRDA.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, unless you are going to build a cadre of people homegrown who rise up to these
Hmm.
locations, they are banking a bit on these deputations. They say that it's about 12% of the total staff complement or something like that.
Right.
There's some formula to it, but the moment is if the decision of the authority and or the on the top is to build a cadre of my own people who can do inspections with regularity, who will be
Right.
knowledgeable in terms of understanding the sector and making it
Right.
the
More productive.
organization effective. So then automatically you will find that I have very few people. So
Right,
the
sir.
requirement will start.
Right, sir. Just two more questions before we conclude, sir. First question is related to foreign postings. Are there any foreign postings in IDA?
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
Right, sir.
There's no scope of it. But foreign trips are some things which people have. So
Right.
depending upon the need and depending upon the sector, they participate in seminars, they go
Hmm.
on trips. So
Right.
that is something which happens. It happens in IRDA also. It
Hmm.
happens in RBI also.
And so last question which I would like to ask is some female students are asking this related to maternity benefit, like maternity leave kind of stuff. Are these available?
Yeah,
Simple.
very
Yeah.
much. They
Yeah.
are as much a necessity to provide a safe workplace for genders. In fact, they have a crush also. Let me tell those people saying
Yeah.
that आप जच्चा और बच्चा दोनों का what is it? क्या बोलते हैं?
ध्यान
हिफाजत
रख सकते हो.
से देखा रखता है
Hmm.
ARDA. In fact, I don't know whether RBI at some locations it has, but not at all locations. So they have a creche also, which is there, which is managed by the employees only, and maternity benefits they are similar or on
Hmm.
par with any other organization.
Right. So thank you so much, sir. That's it. We
Yeah.
have done a lot of discussion, but I must say, sir, like you are a board of knowledge, and the way you discuss your learnings, the way you taught me a lesson also, that no doubt is a silly doubt. I will definitely remember it for a time to come. So thank you so much for taking your time out, and it was a lovely session with you. And I hope every now and then we will conduct such sessions because you are truly an board of knowledge to talk about. Thank you so
Pleasure
much,
if you
sir.
find me so, and it was nice seeing people, and I was what is it? I was happy to see the reactions of Avinash Swami. So one of the important things that we have as a faculty is we don't
Mm,
have to wait for someone's assessment to see whether we are
mm,
talking sense or not, whether our session is effective or not. If you see your audience, you know whether you are making sense or not. So I presume I have made
right.
sense. Though some of my expressions may be nonsensical, but then sometimes you drill sense through nonsense. That's my
Mm,
mantra. So it's been a nice experience, and what is it?
mm,
I look forward to all the students here taking the examination
mm.
with full josh and then
Right,
getting
sir.
through, then not stopping there, becoming an actuary also,
Mm.
and
Thank
doing
you
good
so
well
much.
in life.
Mm.
Okay, all
Right,
the best. Thank you.
right, right, sir. Thank you so